Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Staggy.
I'm Jason Gandhi.
I'm Zach Munson.
And I'm Dan Majors.
And we are here today to give you our first preview of our NBA mock drafts. We'll be doing another one of these on Thursday before the draft. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for our draft coverage all of next week, as we will be covering the draft every single day with some teams. And then our final mock draft, where we go really in-depth into every pick on Thursday. So, first, the Boston Celtics, pick number 1. They acquired this pick from the Nets way back in 2013 with the trade that absolutely looks terrible for Brooklyn now, and the Celtics are getting the benefits from it and have the opportunity to pick number 1 after finishing first in the East last season. So, let's start it off with Dan. Who do you think the Celtics pick at number 1?
All right, I think it's pretty consensus here. Markelle Fultz at 1. Most complete player in the draft. A very athletic guard that can finish at the rim. And basically every mock draft throughout the whole year has had Fultz at 1, so it would be a huge surprise if they don't take him.
Yeah, I also have the Celtics grabbing Fultz at 1. It is pretty consensus. There have been talks about the Celtics maybe possibly getting Josh Jackson, but I think that they need Markelle Fultz to bring in that star power to, if they want to defeat LeBron James and advance to the finals. I don't think they get that with Josh Jackson. I think they need Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, I think Josh Jackson is the better fit for their roster right now. But as of now, I still think that the Celtics are going to pick Markelle Fultz at number 1. There has been some trade rumors. They might trade down to 3 with Philly to try and get Josh Jackson there. But if they do keep the number 1 pick, I think they go with Markelle Fultz and get some star power in him and invest in the future a little bit.
Yeah, at number 1, I think Josh Jackson's the definition of a Celtic. Like, just the way he plays. The Celtics have really built themselves on long defensive guys. But I went Markelle Fultz. I think that it's kind of been the consensus for the last few months. So me and Michael, as I'm doing Michael's mock draft also, both put Markelle Fultz at number 1. Let's go to number 2, though. My Los Angeles Lakers. It's really hard to tell. Like, you can have a different opinion every day. Trust me, I have. And today, I'm feeling like it's Lonzo Ball. But trust me, tomorrow, it could change. I like Lonzo Ball today. I think that I think he's the best player in the draft. That'll come out in our big board. I really think Lonzo has what it takes in LA. So I have him at number 2. I think the Lakers go there as he reminds Magic of himself. But Michael has the Lakers going Josh Jackson. So, like I said, it's really 50-50. And it's basically just like a coin toss every day on who we think it's going to be.
Yeah, for my number 2, I'm also going to go with Lonzo Ball. I think this is the pick if the Lakers keep it. There has been some more trade rumors that the Lakers are wanting to move up to number 1 to try and get Markelle Fultz. But if they keep their number 2 pick, Lonzo makes the most sense. The second best player in the draft to me, and will make them the most money in LA from the business side. Just everything about Lonzo Ball makes sense for the Lakers at number 2.
With the business thing, though, I think it's very important to point out that although it's been rumored, the business part of the Lakers is not going to be the thing that makes the decision. It's important and it's a factor, but it's the Lakers. It's not the Milwaukee Bucks. They sell out every year. They have top jersey sales. They always are they don't need to worry about selling their franchise. People are going to come to Lakers games. They have the biggest national fan base. It's more about who they think is the player. So I just think that's kind of like a misconception that people have been saying is like, oh, well, the business side's too much to turn down. It's important, but it's not a priority.
I mean, I still think it's very important. I mean, because it sounds like right now the Lakers are pretty even on Ball, Jackson, and even Fultz and Lonzo's. If some factor's going to tip it, it might be the business side.
I think if it comes down to Thursday night, I'll say this. I think if it comes down to Thursday night, Celtics took Markelle, and they really don't know. If it's a complete split of who wants what, and then someone goes, hey, money-wise, Ball brings us money, I think that tips it. I don't believe it's that even. This is pure speculation. I think Magic and Walton want Ball. I think Pelinka wants Jackson. That's just pure. I've not heard that anywhere. That's purely just me thinking. I think just knowing each individual guy, Magic and Walton want Lonzo. Pelinka wants Jackson, but Pelinka's the GM is why I think those two are butting heads. But that's just a pure speculation pick from like what I've heard around the Lakers.
Yeah, at number 2, I have Lakers drafting Lonzo Ball. Great in transition, a goofy shot, but it does go in. Questionable defense, which is why they could go with Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson, you don't know how he's going to work with Brandon Ingram. Some say it's a good fit, some say it's not. Some say that they're the best player. I think Jason thinks that too.
I do.
But I think they go with Lonzo Ball. LeVar Ball will be correct in saying that Lonzo will be a Laker.
Speak it into existence.
Yep.
All right, I've also got Lonzo Ball at 2. He knows how to share the ball and make his team better. Has star potential, and the Lakers know that. They are just bluffing, in my opinion, by saying they're not going to take him. Like Dylan said, they'd be losing out on way too much money.
And also, I feel like if Lonzo Ball, if the Lakers don't draft him and he becomes a superstar in the league, how stupid would they feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's the, I guess, safe pick. I mean, they're kind of taking the guy from LA. At worst, he turns out to be an average player, and the Lakers get a ton of jersey sales because everyone in LA loves him. He's from LA.
Jason will be buying his jersey, just so you know. I will be buying it. So there's one jersey sale they can count on. Yeah, one more thing on that, though. Like what, Zach, how you said that I think it'll be like a big mistake for the Lakers. If they do pass on him, I guarantee you LeVar and Lonzo will be big on what's proved the Lakers wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I guarantee that'll be like out in the public. Like, their mission is the Lakers made the biggest mistake. Let's go make them pay for it. So I think that's a big thing that I don't think the front office is going to care about, but it's like a kind of like a under the surface storyline.
And he probably would not let LaMelo go to the Lakers either.
Hey, according to LeVar, him and Lance are going to go undrafted and sign with the Lakers, according as of right now.
But, I mean, by Thursday, it's all going to change. No one's allowed to go to the Lakers.
Exactly. Okay, can we talk about LeVar Ball? Why is he stopping sales of his shoes after the draft?
I'm not really
Did you guys
sure.
see that? He's like,
Not
you
sure.
can't pre-order a shoe after Thursday. Like,
Why?
I don't know. I just
Maybe
like
they're adding something.
I think like,
Maybe
for, like, a
they
Lakers
cost too much
color-
money. They don't have enough money.
No.
Colorway? Ooh.
I'm thinking like a new colorway, like the Lakers. They don't want they want to like make people
Right.
wait. I don't know. Anyway, all right. The third pick, the Philadelphia 76ers. A lot of people think it might just be whoever's left, and so I went Josh Jackson. Michael went Lonzo Ball as he had Josh Jackson number 2. I went Josh Jackson at 3. I think he fits well with the Sixers. I think he'd be a decent fit. I don't know if it's ideal because it's one more guy that can't shoot, but I think he brings a defensive stud there, and I think Philadelphia would appreciate that.
I have to disagree with your thinking that Josh Jackson would fit well with the Sixers. I just can't think how in the modern NBA they're going to put Ben Simmons, Josh Jackson, Dario Saric, and Joel Embiid on the same court when Joel Embiid's the best three-point shooter out of all of those guys.
Don't worry, they haven't actually played together because they can't stay healthy, so that's one thing to factor in. But I'm thinking you can have one of them come off the bench, or I don't know. I see what you're saying though, because you have Simmons, Saric, Embiid, and Jackson. I mean, Jackson kind of play the 2. That's what
I mean, only one shooter out there then?
Yeah.
But right now, I have to agree, though, with the pick. I think Josh Jackson does get picked at 3 if the draft is right now, and the Sixers are on the clock with Fultz and Ball off the board. Jackson, and in terms of position, playing the 3 fits well, especially because they do want Ben Simmons to run the point. But I don't think he fits well with the shooting kind of thing. But I do think the Sixers pick him right now.
At number 3, I also have the Sixers getting Josh Jackson. It basically comes down to whether they want Josh Jackson's defensive versatility and his ability to defend multiple positions. Like, he can probably guard 4 positions on defense.
They interviewed him, he said he can guard 1 through 4 pretty
Right.
consistently.
Or do they want to have a more traditional point guard like De'Aaron Fox? I think they go with Josh Jackson. I'm a big fan of Josh Jackson. Although it's jump shots a question, that's something that you can develop in the NBA.
Yeah, I've also got Josh Jackson here. If LA doesn't take Jackson like people are reporting, then it would be surprised to see the Sixers pass on him. Has great athleticism, getting to the rim, and is the best defender in the draft.
I just have a question for anybody that wants to answer it. What do you think about Monk going through? I feel like it's a very good fit, and I think he's got a pretty safe. I think he's a safe pick. Do you think the Sixers should look at Monk at 3?
I think they should trade down
That's
if they
what I was
want
gonna
Monk.
say.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, I think he fits well. I think
Yeah.
literally anybody besides Josh Jackson fits well, but at 3 he provides the most value for the pick.
Okay.
If I trade with the Kings, probably.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, that's what you're saying. All right, at 4, the Phoenix Suns, lots of guards. So I went Jason Tatum, and this is where the draft starts to change a little bit because now it's what teams value, whether it's best player available or fit. I went Jason Tatum. Michael went with Jonathan Isaac. So kind of a little bit of surprise there. I
Questionable.
feel like that's a bit of a reach. I think
Oh, yeah.
Isaac's a freak athlete and has potential to be great, but doesn't have the skills that Tatum has. I'm really a big fan of Tatum.
Yeah, I also have Tatum at 4. I think he fits better with the Sixers, and I think the Sixers should trade down for Tatum. But if the Suns are on the clock at 4 with Fultz, Ball, and Jackson off the clock, Tatum's got to be the guy. They're needing a 3 right now, and Tatum's the most NBA-ready guy, has a decent offensive and defensive game, and I think would fit well with the Suns for the future with all those guards.
I also have the Suns grabbing Jason Tatum at number 4. Some people believe that he's the best player in the draft. So if they can get him at 4, that'd be great. They could also look at Darren Fox if they want to trade Eric Bledsoe. But I have them getting Jason Tatum. Only thing questionable is his reliable 3-point shot. But once again, I think he can develop that.
I've also got Tatum at 4, 6'8", and very athletic. Has trouble shooting the 3, but is a very polished and skilled prospect. Phoenix could use him to pair with Booker.
About Tatum, you said you think some people think he's the best player in the draft. Do you guys, anybody think that? I think
No.
I have him at 2 to 3. I have Lonzo at 1, and then Fultz and Tatum I haven't really decided on. I like both of them. Well, I don't know. Does anybody think that Tatum is the best player in the draft or anything?
No, I wouldn't say he's the best, but I think he's the most NBA
I think
ready.
he's a
ready.
steal. I think he's a
Most
steal.
NBA
The most
ready.
NBA ready,
Yeah.
the most balanced, and I mean, I like him.
I think he's a steal at 4, in my opinion. Like, if it was a value, like who's the best value, I think he's a steal at 4.
If this was any other draft, he could be number 1.
Oh, I
yeah,
think
definitely.
the top.
Anybody.
I think the top
Yeah.
5, like Fox, Monk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Fox, Tatum, Ball, Fultz, or Jackson would be the first pick.
Even Monk, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that would at least have a shot at it. Like last year,
Right.
I think it'd be a very interesting conversation between Josh Jackson or Ben Simmons. I think that'd be a very big conversation. I think Fultz and Simmons. Like, I think if you look back between those drafts, I think for sure. Let's go to pick number 5. I think there's a talent trap after the top 5. I like Darren Fox at 5. I think he's a beautiful fit in Sacramento. Michael also agrees. I just think that Fox fits very nicely with Buddy Hield at the 2 and gives them a nice little pairing there.
Yeah, I agree. I think De'Aaron Fox goes to the Kings at 5. They're in need of a point guard with Collison and Lawson going to free agency this summer. De'Aaron Fox doesn't really need his shot too much, at least right away, because he does have guys like Buddy Hield and a bunch of big guys to pass the ball to on the roster. He can continue to develop his shot as his career goes along.
I also have the Kings drafting Fox at 5. I think he's the best player available. But if for some reason De'Aaron Fox goes before number 5, they could look at Dennis Smith Jr. or Frank Ntilikina as a backup plan. But there have been talks that the Kings could trade their 5th and 10th picks for the 3rd pick from the Sixers, but they shouldn't do that. I think that the potential of grabbing 2 stars in the top 10 is better than 1.
I also have Fox at 5. He's not only the best available at 5, but the Kings desperately need a young point guard with great potential, and Fox can fit that perfectly, in my opinion. Needs to work on 3-point shooting, like you guys said, but can drive it well to the rim. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox 5.
Number 6, like I said, the talent starts to drop off, in my opinion. But Michael has Jason Tatum at 6, someone we just talked about, because he had Isaac at 4. I flip him there and have Jonathan Isaac at 6. Freak athlete. It's the same front office of president of basketball operations and GM that Milwaukee had when they took Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. And so I think they wouldn't be afraid to take this long athletic freak and see what they can get with him.
Yeah, I agree with Jason's saying Weltman and Hammond coming over to the Magic from the Bucks. They'll take this project in Isaac and hopefully, for them at least, to turn him into a Giannis type of guy. Can't really shoot the ball, but plays fantastic defense, is long, a great athlete, and I think the Magic are willing to take on this project at the kind of beginning of their rebuild right now.
At 6, I have the Magic actually getting Malik Monk. The Magic were 28th and shooting and 29th in three-point percentage. And Monk, who shot almost 40% from the three-point line as a freshman at Kentucky, I think he is an obvious response to this problem. 6'3" or 6'4", depending on which site you look at, is a little undersized. But hopefully he could add an inch or two. And Monk at 6.
I've got Isaac at 6, maybe the most athletic player in this draft. Might not fit well next to Aaron Gordon, but his upside might be too much to pass on.
All right, pick number 7, Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that I remember, Dan, we talked about in, I think, 7th or 8th grade. We were like, hey, watch out for the Timberwolves in a few years, and they just keep compiling young talent. Maybe this is their year they get over the hump into the playoffs, and with that team, and with that, I think they're one player away. Michael likes Malik Monk, letting them have that decision whether they want to re-sign Zach LaVine. I like moving Gorgie Zhang to the bench, getting Lauri Markkanen at the 4, letting Karl-Anthony Towns play the 5. I think that's a beautiful combination of you've got Chris Dunn / Ricky Rubio, Zach LaVine, who would be the 3? Oh, Wiggins, Markkanen, Towns. I think that's a beautiful 5.
Yeah, the Timberwolves would definitely take that 5 for the future. I really like Markkanen and Towns. Everybody can shoot the ball in that lineup that you mentioned, maybe besides Rubio and Dunn. Kind of weird, the point guards, the 2 worst shooters. But the Timberwolves are definitely going to like that for the future, and that's why I think they take Markkanen at 7.
At 7, I think the Timberwolves will select Jonathan Isaac. He's a great fit between Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins long term. Also, he could convince Coach Thibodeau to bring Gorgie Zhang off the bench and put him in the starting lineup. He's raw, great defense, very long, but I think Timberwolves should grab him.
At 7, I've got Markkanen. Minnesota could use a solid forward here to pair with Towns. I think they can pass on one of these guards if they're confident in Rubio and Dunn. And then adding Markkanen will give a solid core to Minnesota with Wiggins, Towns, and now Markkanen, along with LaVine and Rubio or Dunn.
Okay, I have a quick question for you guys. Do you think Minnesota makes the playoffs next year with all this young talent finally coming together?
I think 8th seed.
Yeah, not like top 3 or anything, but like just getting in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think Dunn takes a step forward. Not great, but like I'm still a believer in Dunn. I think he is at least a decent backup. Rubio's still solid. LaVine coming back from his injury. They didn't have him last year. Wiggins continues to get better, and Towns already fantastic. I think those 5 lead them to an 8th seed.
Yeah, they've always been that team where everyone's like, oh, they're gonna make a run this year, but they haven't put it all together. And next year they could do that.
All right, so the 8th pick is the New York Knicks, a team that's trying to return to greatness, similar to the Lakers, not used to being this bad. At number 8, it's really, I think, in everyone's opinion, they need a guard. It's just a matter of who. Michael likes Frank Ntilikina. I like Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk is a very safe pick who's got potential upside, but if you look at what's the least you can get as his floor, you at least get a very good shooter. And so I like Monk at the 8th spot to finally get New York headed in the back in the right direction. Sorry.
I think the Knicks should take Malik Monk, but I think they go with Dennis Smith Jr. and try to create another lineup to try to win next year. That's what I think the Knicks will go with. And Phil Jackson, he doesn't want to go through another rebuild. And so I think the Knicks go with Dennis Smith Jr., a solid shooter and overall really solid point guard that could be easily a top 5 pick in most drafts. I think he falls to the Knicks and they get a solid point guard, although I think they should take Monk.
At number 8, I have the Knicks will get Dennis Smith Jr. out of NC State. The Knicks are a mess and basically need every position. Well, not every position, but they're needed at everything. And I think at 6'3", Dennis Smith would bring some explosiveness and great size for the point guard position. Averaged 18 points a game at NC State. Great shooter. I think he'd fit well.
At 8, I'll agree with Jason again, and Malik Monk at 8. There have been reports of the Knicks thinking of taking Kennard or maybe even Mitchell. That honestly would be the worst possible move. I think they will be happy to find probably the best shooter in the draft today.
All right, number 9, the Dallas Mavericks. Dan, you want to take this one since it's your team?
Sure. All right. I've got Frank Tilikana, and Dallas, they need a point guard as Yogi will not get it done for the future.
Oh man.
If Markin is here, then it will be tough to pass on him as he has such a similar game to Dirk. But since he is not available, then the Mavs should either take Smith or Tilikana. Both are very athletic point guards that can finish at the rim with ease, but Frank has great size and length with being 6'5", and having close to a 7-foot wingspan, which will separate him from Smith.
All right, at number 9, I have the Mavericks getting Frank Ntilikina. He didn't play in the States, but he's pretty raw, great ceiling. He can fill that point guard position that they need, because I'm not sure if Yogi Ferrell is a point guard of the future. And if he can be a great shooter for the Mavericks, that'd be great. And I think that they should go with Ntilikina, however you say his name.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Tilikina at 9 for the Mavericks. I think he can play with Yogi Ferrell.
Oh, get wrecked.
And Tilikina plays great defense, and Yogi a better offensive player. I think they make a great 1-2 punch at the point guard position and leave the Mavs with a great backcourt for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think Farrell's definitely in their plans. I just don't think he's the starter. I think he's a backup point
Right.
guard for sure. Okay, I went Frank Ntilikina as well. You guys kind of summed it up. I like Ntilikina. The Mavs have scouted him very heavily. Michael likes Dennis Smith there. I think we talked about it very much. Just a pick of who you want, Smith or Ntilikina, and really who's left. Number 10, Sacramento, their second pick. Michael likes Zach Collins, keeping the streak of drafting centers. I went in a different direction with someone that's risen up draft boards. Luke Kennard. I think he will not fall outside the top 10. I could see him going as early as 8 to the Knicks. The Knicks, Kings, and Lakers very high on him. So I like Kennard at number 10. Dylan, who do you like?
I'm not buying the Kennard hype, at least in my opinion. I think some teams are. I think someone might trade for him. But at my number 10, I'm going to have a guy who fell a little bit in mine, Malik Monk. I think the Kings pull in De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, get that Kings backcourt go, or the Kentucky backcourt going for the Kings next season, and make a great 1-2 punch for the future. I like Monk at 10 for the Kings. I think they'd be very happy with Fox and Monk.
I have the Kings grabbing Lauri Markkanen here. In a draft heavy with great guards, he's a big who really stands out. He shot 42.3% from deep in college while attempting 4.5 threes per game. I think he's a very rare talent. He could improve his defense and rim protection, but I think the Kings should grab him here.
I've got Zach Collins at 10. I have Sacramento taking a guard at number 5 and De'Aaron Fox, so it just makes sense for them to take the 7-foot Zach Collins. Shot 65% from the field and 48% from 3 this past year at Gonzaga. He could be part of the new kind of big man we see today, and can maybe even make up for the loss of Cousins down the road.
All right, pick number 11, the Charlotte Hornets. This is where I think the end of the falling for those top 10 guys, at least in my opinion, stops. I have Dennis Smith getting picked here at number 11. I know you guys had him earlier. Dennis Smith, I think, has very high upside. It's just a matter of there's someone that has to fall, and I think he's the one that does. But before we go around, who's everyone's guy that kind of fell in their mock draft? Not like that far, but at least fell a little bit.
I had Monk going 10 to the Kings that I just mentioned. I think he slides a bit on draft day. Some other teams reach for some other guys, and Monk slides to 10.
I had Markkanen falling to 10. I mean, that's what I'll have to say. I had Markkanen falling to 10 to the Kings.
I had Smith.
Okay. Let's go. Dylan, who'd you have then? Sorry, but I just want to know who everyone had fallen.
At my number 11 to the Hornets, I think they keep the trend of drafting some big white guys. With Zach Collins, they form a nice trifecta at the big guys with Kaminsky, Zeller, and now Collins. The 3 white guys holding down the 4 and 5 for the Hornets.
Yep, I also had the Hornets grabbing Zach Collins at 11. great 7-foot big man. Showed some flashes at Gonzaga. Played great in the NCAA tournament. Right away, he can be a good backup center and high upside.
I have Kennard at number 11. The sophomore from Duke made the right decision to come back as he improved his footwork as well as his overall skill. He had a great year at Duke, averaging 20 points per game and shot 49% from the field. Charlotte will pick up an underrated player, Luke Kennard, in my opinion here.
Alrighty. Pick number 12, the Detroit Pistons. Lots of bad contracts for the Pistons. Really need somebody to put them over the top. I've got Donovan Mitchell, another guy that's been rising up draft boards like Kennard. A lot of people love his athleticism and his ability to shoot the rock, so I went Mitchell. Michael went a little different and went Luke Kennard at 12 because he had Mitchell last pick at 11. So kind of a flip-flop there with Michael.
At my number 12, I'm also going to go with Donovan Mitchell. I think the Pistons definitely need him, especially because they could lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to free agency this offseason. Another shooter in Donovan Mitchell can get to the rack too. I think he'd go great for the Pistons.
I also had the Pistons grabbing Donovan Mitchell here at 12. Great athlete, can guard both guard spots, and great defensive instincts. Hit that versatility will intrigue the Pistons, and I think they'll grab him.
I've also got Donovan Mitchell. Like Jason said, he's been rising on draft boards of late. People are realizing that his game will transfer well into the NBA. He's an elite athlete with a 6'10 wingspan that has a great scoring ability. Look for him to be taken from either 8 to 16 range.
All right, pick 13, Denver Nuggets. They just traded away Nurkic, but I like Zach Collins still there. I think they realized that was a bad trade because Jokic really can't be a big enough guy to hold down the front court. So I like them getting Zach Collins, someone who has a very pro-ready game. Michael likes Justin Patton. I think a bit of a reach at 13.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I have him a lot later, but I think interesting to at least look at.
All right, at my number 13 to the Nuggets, I'm going to go with my guy from IU, OG Anunoby. I think the Nuggets really don't need a guy that can play next year. Obviously, Anunoby hurt with the knee injury, might not be able to play next year at all. They have plenty of time to develop with guys like Jokic and Jamal Murray. Both of those guys kind of focus on the offensive side and get a big defensive presence in OG Anunoby.
Yep. I also have the Nuggets grabbing OG Anunoby here. As a huge IU fan, I loved OG on the Hoosiers. Obviously very explosive. Had that knee injury. Any team that grabs him in the draft shouldn't expect him to play in the first year. But I think he's a great fit with Jokic. And I think that if he can improve his three-point shot, that would be huge. But let's say if he doesn't improve his shot, the baseline is a great defender who can guard 4 positions.
13, I've got Dennis Smith. Smith will be the only player in my top 10 prospects that will not be drafted in the top 10.
Wow. That's a really big fall to 13.
Yeah, so there's your fall that you're talking
Yeah,
about. Why is that?
Well, I think Pistons and Charlotte, they'll both be looking for a shooting guard there, and then the Nuggets will pick up a stud in Dennis Smith. So they'll get a steal. Very athletic guard that is powerful at getting to the rim. So.
What about him with Moutier and Dooney?
I think Moutier was supposed to be. I think they're kind of giving up on him.
Giving up on him?
Yeah. Okay. Pick 14, the last one of the lottery before we kind of go into a more quicker pace of just going through the picks. Miami Heat. I went with somebody that rose up draft boards a little bit too. I liked him at 21 in my previous mock draft. I have him all the way to 14, Justin Jackson. I think he pairs very nicely because Winslow. I almost went Winslow and Anunoby. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Anunoby.
Okay. Anunoby. But they're very similar and very defensive, but can't shoot well. I think Miami needs a shooter to pair with Goran Dragic and Hassan Whiteside. So I went Justin Jackson at 14.
At my 14, I'm going to go with Harry Giles to the Heat. I think the Heat take the project a little bit. I mean, they got to rebuild him back from his injury. Obviously, a great guy that was going to be picked possibly number 1 until his knee injury. If they can get that back, I think Pat Riley would love to have Harry Giles at 14.
Yeah, I think he could be the steal of the draft if he pans
definitely.
out.
Him and Anunoby, I think, are the two that, if
Yeah.
they're just okay health-wise, they could be steals.
Yeah, 14, I got the Heat grabbing Luke Kennard. He's been rising up draft boards. Could go in the top 10. Great toughness, great handles, amazing shooter, and I think he'd fit pretty well on the Heat because they're in need at every position besides point guard and center.
14, I've got OG Anunoby. Of course, had the season-ending injury for IU this past year, but his athletic ability, along with being able to guard multiple positions, will be too hard to pass on for Miami. They have a great training staff, and this will be a great fit for OG.
Alrighty, end of the lottery. Let's kind of go a little bit quicker. Pick 15, I went OG Anunoby, finally getting picked. One pick outside the lottery.
I'm going to go with John Collins for the Blazers. A little bit more shooting from their front court.
At 15, I had Justin Jackson. Bulls were 24th in three-point shooting this season, so I think he'd be a great shooter.
I'll agree with Munson here. Justin Jackson, 15.
All right, pick 16, the Chicago Bulls. I went Harry Giles. We just talked about him. I think the Bulls could get a steal in the draft.
I'm going to have Luke Kennard at 16. I think this is a little bit late for him. I think he could definitely go earlier in this draft, but Bulls go best player available. Take Kennard.
I think the Bulls go grab Jared Allen, 6'11", from Texas. He showed flashes of why he deserves to be stuck in the top 20.
I've also got Jared Allen. Could possibly be a lottery pick, but probably not.
Alrighty, pick 17, the Milwaukee Bucks. A lot of pieces. I went Jared Allen to hopefully fill in for Greg Monroe when he leaves this offseason. I like Jared Allen at 17.
Yeah, you guys both had him at 16. Jason just said him. Jared Allen at 17. He'll fit well with Thonmaker in the Milwaukee front court and form a dangerous combo for the future.
At 17, I have the Bucks getting Justin Patton, averaged 13.6 a game at Creighton, 7 feet tall, and he's a work in progress, but he has a high ceiling.
Yeah, at 17, if Jared Allen's there, they'll take him, but since he's not for me, I have Justin Patton.
All right, pick 18. Zach and Dylan, kind of the Indiana Pacers, your guys' team. I'll let you guys take these ones first because you're kind of the experts on the Pacers.
I'm going to go with Justin Jackson at 18. Not a lot of rumors connecting him to the Pacers, but I think he makes sense if he falls this low. The Pacers need another 3 to help back up Paul George or possibly even replace him if he leaves in the future.
In my draft, I already had Justin Jackson going at 15, so I have the Pacers grabbing TJ Leaf. As you'll see in a lot of mock drafts, you'll see TJ Leaf going to the Pacers. Got overshadowed by Lonzo Ball at UCLA. Shot an amazing 46.6% from 3. Can't have enough shooters in the NBA.
I'll agree again with Munson, and I've got TJ Leaf.
Wow, okay. I went Terrence Ferguson. I think a good shooter. Monte Ellis just got suspended. I think they're going to try to fade him out, get kind of a replacement there. Young, I like Terrence Ferguson. All right, pick 19, Atlanta Hawks. I went with who Dan and Zach, you guys just picked. I went TJ Leaf.
I went Justin Patton at 19 for the Hawks, another big guy that could eventually replace Dwight Howard.
At 19, I had John Collins, averaged 19 and 10. He emerged as a legitimate NBA prospect.
Munson and I now have the same last 5. I've got Collins also at 19.
Alrighty. We're getting to the 20th pick in the draft, the Portland Trailblazers. I went Bam Adebayo. I think he has the potential to fall all the way to the end of the first round, but I went Bam Bam with my 20th pick.
Yeah, I also have Bam Adebayo to the Blazers.
Not as cool as Dylan and Zach. All right, Dan and Zach, but we have this one together.
Yeah. More front court depth for the Blazers and another cheap contract that I think they'll bring in and try to trade somebody else.
All right, the team of Dan and Zach, who do you guys have?
Oh my God. Okay. So I got Harry Giles here at 20 to the Blazers. Obviously could be the steal of the draft. I think his slide ends here.
Yep.
Oh my.
Got Harry Giles.
Wow. All right, pick 21. Let's hope this one changes up a little bit. And the Oklahoma City Thunder. I went John Collins. Dylan had him all the way up at 15, if I remember correctly. I'm not as high on him. I like him, though, for the Blazers for the Thunder, as they get a shooter to help pair with Westbrook.
I've got a similar player to Collins that you guys talked about earlier, TJ Leaf, another guy that can shoot and help Russell out a little bit, get some more shooters on their roster because none of the guys on the Thunder can really shoot at all. Russell could use another shooter.
So at 21, I had OKC getting Ike Anigbogu. who played 13 minutes per game at UCLA. I'm not a huge believer in Ike, but he's an interesting prospect.
Oh, I swear, do you have him?
I
too?
have
Oh my
Bogey with
god.
21 for OKC.
That's crazy. Alrighty. Pick 22. Does this one differ? Oh my gosh. I like Justin Patton. Michael had him at 13. I think he falls a little bit to 22. Has one of the highest upsides in the draft, though.
At my 22, I'm going to go with the guy that Zach and Dan just mentioned, Ike Anigbogu, to the Nets.
22, I have Terrence Ferguson. Only shot 31% from three-point range. Hopefully he improves that. And he could be a good fit for the Nets.
Yep. Terrence Ferguson. Great fit for the Nets.
That's crazy, guys. All right. Pick 23. The Toronto Raptors. I went Ike Anigbogu. I like him, a young center. He'll be fine. Nothing special.
I'm going to go with Tyler Lydon at 23, a guy that can come in and defend the three, maybe replace P.J. Tucker for a little bit cheaper
PJ
contract.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
At 23, I also had Tyler Lydon out of Syracuse. Great shooter. Had a little underwhelming year at Syracuse, but he'll still come in at 23.
And our streak will continue, but it will end here.
It'll end after this.
Okay.
Tyler Lydon at 23.
Why do you guys like Lydon there so much? I have him going 28 to the Lakers, but why do you like him so high at 23? Any of you guys, since you all had him.
I think, like I said, a replacement for P.J. Tucker can shoot the rock and defend pretty solidly the three position.
Okay. 24, the Utah Jazz. It's their first of 2 picks. So I went European and went Isaiah Hartenstein.
I'm going to say Semi Ojeleye at 24, a three that can maybe eventually replace Gordon Hayward as he might be leaving this offseason.
Yeah, but I also had Semi Ojeleye, averaged 19 and 7 at SMU, had a great season, and put himself at 24.
24.
All right, I'll go European here. Mine is Knicks at 24.
Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea how to say that. Yeah. All right. Pick 25, Orlando Magic. One of my favorite players in this mid-20s round. But before we get into it, we talk about this a lot with the team previews. Once you hit this mid-20s, it's really a lot of who does each team value this guy over this guy. So it's really hard for any analyst to really go through and be like, all right, they're going to definitely take him. It's a lot of the tier system, which you see a lot nowadays, which is tier 1, superstar, tier 2, and going through that. So when I did that myself in my big board, which will come out on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, I went Jordan Bell. He was the last guy in my tier, which is very similar to how the front offices do it. So I went Jordan Bell with the Magic at 25.
At my 25, I'm going to go with Frank Jackson to the Magic, a guy that can play both backcourt positions and shoot the ball well.
He got hurt, I think,
Yeah.
injury or something.
Yeah, he just had foot surgery, I believe, and he could just play with Elfrid Payton, I think. They could form a decent...
Is he their replacement?
I don't know. I mean, the Magic aren't really liking Elfrid Payton, but, I mean, they don't have anything better.
Yeah. Okay.
At 25, I have the Magic getting Bam Bam Adebayo. Over 50% of his field goals made this year at Kentucky were dunks. So he needs to work on his outside shooting, which would elevate his game tremendously. But without that, he's a good rim protector and a good finisher at the basket.
Yeah, I like Bam Adebayo at 25 also. Very athletic and could be a little underrated.
All right, pick 26. Finally, the last pick for the Blazers. They had 3, so I went European. Daniel will try to say his name for me. Anizes Paznigas. That guy. I like him. He's very long. Every European guy draws comparisons to Kristaps Porzingis now. Him and Dirk.
Well, I mean, he's from Latvia.
Yeah, I know. But, I think he can extend his range all the way out to the three-point line. Very long. And just somebody that they could develop. I don't think he'll develop as quickly as Porzingis, but he'll be a good pick at 26 for the Blazers to send him overseas.
Yeah, I think Blazers, obviously, with their cap situation currently, need a guy that they can draft and stash. And Anzej Pasiniks, the guy from Latvia that Jason just talked about, not quite Kristaps Porzingis, but I think the Blazers take a bit of a project in him and send him overseas for a couple years.
At 26, I also had the Trailblazers grabbing Isaiah Hartenstein, basically what Jason already said.
I've also got Isaiah Hartenstein, lengthy. And
Is this the start of another streak for you?
No, it's not.
Let's get into that one.
All right. Pick 27, the Nets' last pick. This is somebody I wish would fall one more pick to the Lakers, but I think at 27, that's Tony Bradley. I think he is very raw, but putting him and Zubats at the Lakers would be phenomenal. He's going to the Nets. The Nets are going to waste his talent in Brooklyn with nobody there to help him. But I think he'll be a good fit next to Lopez, but hopefully he develops and plays nicely. But hopefully the Nets find someone else and he falls to the Lakers.
Dan and Zach had Terrence Ferguson at the first pick for the Nets. I'm going to put him at the second one. I think he
falls. Wow.
Yeah, I think he slips a little bit.
I had him to the Pacers. I think 18. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think he falls a little bit, and the Nets get a bit of a project. Obviously, they're not going to be good for the next few years, so might as well take a guy that has a lot of potential, but not really showing it right now.
At 27, I have the Nets getting my boy DJ Wilson. I love DJ Wilson. I don't know why. I saw him play in the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. I fell in love with his game. 6'10", nice touch around the basket. Can shoot from three. Needs to improve his rebounding, but great defender. I don't know. I love DJ Wilson.
Yeah, you were a big Michigan guy during that little run they had.
No, I was DJ Wilson fan. No,
who else was it? Mo Wagner you loved?
Not really.
That dude is ugly. Mo Wagner.
I remember him.
I was DJ Wilson fan.
All right.
I've got Yvonne Rabb at 27. Probably should have left last year, but
he lost a lot of money.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, but I think this is better for him in his career because he would have been destroyed last year. Like money wise, last year it made sense.
Well, that's why you just play the bench and you just get better on NBA.
But he wouldn't. But I mean, if you win the lottery, you're gonna have to start right away. Most of the time.
You don't.
Most of the time.
No, you don't.
I mean,
not late lottery.
Did Chris Dunn start right away?
He worked out.
No.
Exactly.
He worked out as high as 2 with the Lakers though last year. Like I remember we worked him out. But I have Tyler Lydon at 28 to the Lakers. You guys all had him at 23 earlier. I think he'd be a great fit for the Lakers. Pairing him and Lonzo in that backcourt, the second unit. Only problem is it kind of kicks Clarkson out of there. But I think you can find a potential trade partner for him for sure on a cheap contract.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Yvonne Rabb at 28 to the Lakers. Just a little bit of more front court depth, especially if they don't like Julius Randle for the future.
I have Jordan Bell going here out of Oregon. Had a great tournament. Great defender, great rebounder. He
can shoot now too. He's getting his shot down.
He honestly he was instrumental in their NCAA tournament run and won quite a few games just with rebounding alone.
I've got DJ Wilson here at 28. Very underrated player. And Munson's boy. So.
Yeah, it's Munson's boy. Pick 29, I went Dylan's guy for the Lakers, Yvonne Rabb. I talked about him. I like his game. I think he's better fitted now in the late first round. Less money, but better potential to be a good player.
For 29 to the Spurs, I'm going to go with Isaiah Hartenstein. The Spurs going to be good for a few years, and if they don't like any of the prospects that can come and play now, I think Isaiah Hartenstein would be a solid piece for their future, especially with Pau Gasol leaving in the near future with his age.
Is he a free agent next year? Or this year or next year?
I think he's a player option for next year, but he's probably going to accept it. So
okay.
He'll be gone soon, though, at his age.
I just didn't know. Okay.
I have the Spurs grabbing Anzej Pasekniks.
I love it. Good
job. Another classic Spurs pick, getting a European player or someone that's underrated and just turning him to a star. But, athletically impressive. Polished on defense, and yes, pretty much all I need to say.
At 29, I've got a little bit of a reach here, but I've got the underrated Caleb Swanigan.
Don't explain that one. I don't think you can just say that and I have no explanation. You gotta give me something on why you felt Swanigan.
He played so well in college, and I don't know. I feel like the Spurs can take a risk here with Swanigan.
Okay. Pick 30. I'm going to just kind of sum this one up. I think we all have the same guy of Derek White from Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty perfect fit there. That sums up our first mock draft. We know it's a long episode. But make sure you stay tuned. On Thursday, we will be posting our live mock draft, where we will be each taking teams, going up to the podium, and selecting who our guy is. So make sure you stay tuned for that, as well as our big board coming out on Wednesday, and then the Suns and the Lakers Monday and Tuesday. So lots of draft coverage these next few days.
Yeah, lots of draft coverage, and if you want to see it all, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button, and follow us on Twitter at The Sports Sermon. We will post on there every time we post a new article on our website.
That's sports with a Z, by the way.
Yes, at The Sports Sermon with a Z. And, thank you for listening, and we will see you guys this week with more draft coverage.